Food safety hazards have been a major issue for many Ghanaians for several years now. The concerns are numerous, from the chemical hazards, where people worry about the presence of chemicals in food produce, to unhygienic cooking and selling venues. Unsafe food is a key contributor to common foodborne diseases that affect Ghanaians, such as typhoid fever, dysentery, and cholera. Ghana recorded over 9,000 cholera cases in 1999, with about 250 deaths. In an outbreak from September 2010 to April 2011, there were over 8,000 cases with 89 deaths from 3 regions in the country: Central, Eastern, and Greater Accra. With the alarming figures from cholera alone, it stands to reason that buyers and consumers alike would be concerned about the health risk of eating unwholesome foods. In a recent video that went viral on social media, a beef seller in an unnamed market was seen drenching her meat with mosquito spray with the intention of killing the houseflies that surrounded the meat. The effort by the young man who was taking the video to stop her from continuing with the act fell on deaf ears. Other videos and stories have come up, with some companies producing plastic foods that pose as fresh foods, such as rice, fish, and egg. Some sellers at the Agbogboloshi market in Accra shared their experiences with Citi News. Though there were conflicting views as to whether raw foods are preserved or discarded when they go bad, it was admitted that some vegetables are still sold to particular customers, chop bar operators especially, even in their rotten state.
No, 6 million. Ni na rotten ones, tomu half. Ni ekpakpa yemi. No ekpakpa ke hon rotten ones enye machie shui. No mbuana. Ni hon ha choba ke omo cheme ke ni bi hon. Ni wono wa hi otoba ni eni ke restaurant ni eni wo yo no wono wo yo.
We can't preserve them. We don't have this thing warehouse, something like that to preserve it. So when you said you couldn't finish, you have to put it in your sack. So when they break, you come and sell your own thing. So sometimes when you come, some will rot in it. Have it to boiler. We send it to those who rear cows, cow rearers. We give it to them because it will be this thing forever here. So when it is not good, when I put it on the ground, when you come, oh, you want it? I'll give it to more. You go and cut it and use it for your food.
The Accra Metropolitan Assembly, under whose jurisdiction the Agbogboloshi market falls, has on several occasions warned the public against patronizing foods which are displayed in unhealthy environment. The head of the Public Health Department of the AME, Flores Kunchi, says although they are constantly doing their possible best in the fight against these unhealthy practices in the market, they have limitations.
We are trying to break the chain of sale of rotten tomatoes, pepper, and onions. And to break the chain, we trace it to the mill, because every chop bar does not send tomatoes to the house to go and blend. They send it to the mill. So when you go to the market, they have wet mills that they mill these tomatoes, peppers, and others. So we have officers there. When you come to mill your tomatoes and it is rotten, we just take it from you and straight we put you in a can, we take you to court. Challenges may be that, let me say a market woman, I've gone to serve a market woman a summons to go to court. The person will stop coming. You will not see the person again. Then the person will reappear at a different place. So sometimes lack of staff, and then we are not many in the system. Yes, so staffing is another thing. But whether staffing or not, understaff or overstaff, the little that we have, we are trying our best to see to it that work will go on.
The Plant Pool Cooperative Vegetable Farmers Association is involved in growing and selling various vegetable crops and herbs such as cabbage, spinach, mint, and cucumber. Public health professionals have had cause to complain about the water such farmers use in irrigating their crops, an allegation the vegetable growers denied. They, however, noted that since they have limited access to pipe-borne water, they are forced to water their crops with water from a nearby stream. According to them, they process water from the nearby stream before usage to prevent any germs or infections on the crops.
The second problem is also about water. Because if you can look at this very area, there is a big river over there. Okay, a stream. I don't know, mostly people say it is gutter. To me, it's not a gutter, it is a stream. You know that in Ghana, our pipe-borne water are not 24 hours, 360, one quarter in a year. You know, it's on and off. There may be a time will come that even the pipe-borne water is not even coming at all. And then the sun is also hot, whereby we also need water to water our crops. So what we do is that when it comes to that time, we can also not leave our crops to perish and then die off. So we pump the river, that's the stream, we pump it into our dugouts. With the reason, formerly we have been pumping it straight into the field, onto the crops on the field. But an agency called IMI, they came and have a talk with us, and then they teach us about how to even manage the stream on our very field.
The Food and Drugs Authority, the body responsible for the regulation of all foods, medicines, food supplements, cosmetics and many others, says the sale and purchase of stale foods is criminal. Roderick Dade Ajay is the head of Food and Market Surveillance Department of the FDA.
So it's expected that the Ministry of Food and Agriculture would ensure that the farmers use the right practices. They will use the right fertilizer. They will spray the right amount of pesticides on the product just to kill the insects that they have to kill. Then, if they do all of these things within everybody's domain, then Food and Drugs Authority can also now come in and the product is transported to the market. When it goes to the market, then the environmental health officer would ensure that before it gets into the market, there's some basic inspection that is done so that what they call the it does not go there. So the products go through different processes and somebody must be there to ensure that the right thing is being done. Otherwise, the market women and men always are thinking of their profit. And when people also go and buy, they should also go for the best.
The Rich Hospital reported 25,270 cases of food poisoning during the period of 2009 to 2013. In order to have a clear understanding of how dangerous it is to eat foods which are not grown or prepared in unhealthy conditions, Citi News sought the views of a public health specialist at the Rich Hospital.
So eating this bad food can predispose you to having these diarrhea diseases, where we can talk about cholera. We can talk about diarrhea diseases. We can talk about typhoid fever, which is now very common among us. Now, as I mentioned earlier on, when talk about food safety, when it comes to this animals, you see some of them even use ties, lorry ties. They put this say cow on fire, and they use tie in burning so that they can get the hair off. Now, this contains chemicals, right? It also contains metals. Now, these chemicals can get into the system of the butchered animal, okay? So once the consumer eats it, these chemicals or heavy metals can be absorbed into the system of the consumer. So we can talk about copper, some lead, you have cadmium, you understand? And even this water that they use in washing this animal, or even storing this meat and the rest, okay, especially the salted ones. If the water contains a metal that we call arsenic, and it goes into the system of the consumer, aside the cancer, it can even lead to infertility.
From all indications, Ghanaians are at high risk of exposure to illnesses following the kinds of food we consume. However, it is always advised that you check the surroundings of where you buy your foods, whether cooked or raw, and always buy from the best. For Citi News, I am Ellen Dapaah.